The man charged in a deadly traffic shooting won't be getting a new bond amount. Good evening and thank you for joining us this Friday night. Dayton Morgan is accused of murder in a Tyler road rage incident that happened last month. He's accused of shooting and killing 29-year-old Trevor Julian near the intersection of Paluxy and Grande. Today in court, he asked the judge to lower his $1 million bond. KLTV7's J.D. Conti was there. He's explaining why that request was denied and also hearing from a witness who saw the shooting.
It was identified in July of last year he might commit a homicide, and then sure enough in February he did.
23-year-old Dayton Morgan will remain in jail.
What is the bail set in this case?
$1 million.
Today in a packed courtroom, his mother and family asked for his bond to be reduced to $100,000. Judge Austin Reeve Jackson denied that request after hearing witnesses to the shooting.
Mr. Morgan had to make a decision because he was placed in a situation where he feared for his life.
Morgan's defense attorney says detectives did not include self-defense testimony from witnesses when they wrote the arrest affidavit on the shooting.
He was trying to pin Dayton in between that door of that truck.
Dalton Palmer was in the truck with Morgan when the shots went off. He said Trevor Julian's car brake checked them near Paluxy and Grande, and Julian came towards their truck yelling and cussing.
He was like pointing or doing some stuff with his hands, I believe.
Brett Thomas also witnessed the shooting. Smith County District Attorney Jacob Putman argued Julian never threatened Morgan's life.
Did you ever see him exhibit or use deadly force?
No, no.
Putman also expressed concern for Morgan's mental health. He read from a July Andrews Center report where Morgan reported anger issues.
He identified his triggers as being unknown and uncontrollable situations and, quote, I'm quick to blow up on strangers. They developed a safety plan for the defendant, and he said, you know, I can give my firearms to my family so I don't hurt anyone. But he obviously didn't do that.
Judge Jackson denied the bond reduction, largely based on that report.
The court is, based on what I've heard today and seen, just as concerned for your own safety as the safety of anybody else.
J.D. Conti, KLTV 7 News.
No future court dates have been set in this case. We'll keep you posted.